Hey guys, this is Zach King here with a Final Cut Pro tutorial. I'm going to be showing you how to do some 3D text in Final Cut Pro, and this is going to be all within the Boris filter effect. So if you come down to your Video Generators tab, you're going to see we have an option to go down to the Boris folder and open up Title 3D. Now what we're going to do is open up the controls just like we're editing regular text, but right here we're going to hit the Title 3D Boris, and this is going to open a separate little window here. And we can type in our text, FinalCutKing. I'm going to do all caps here. And the big thing is when you're working in this Boris program, what you're going to want to do is make sure you're actually selecting the text to make the changes. If you don't select the text, then the changes won't happen, any of these changes. So we can do our changing here, like tracking and kerning and leading. I'm going to keep it the same. Actually, I'm going to open up tracking maybe a tiny bit. There we go. You can see it's still selected with this box around it. We can change the font. Let's see what we got down here. I'm going to go to, for Dan, I've got my size on 36. Now we can change all of this later, but I just want to adjust a couple things right now to make this 3D text looking good. What you want to do is come down to this gradient, and I'm going to hit a color. Now in the sample I had a blue, so I'm going to just use a blue. Select the blue and hit OK. And you're going to see, okay, still selected, it turned all blue. That's fine, but what we want to do is make this color into a gradient. And you can see it's a blue gradient. And if we click to edit the gradient, right here another window pops up and we have a couple options. Now right now it's on linear. That's fine, but I want to change the angle. So what I'm going to do is turn it around about 270, and you're going to see it's coming from bottom to top. So I'm going to hit OK. And you're going to notice that changed the color. Well, there's a problem. So what you can do is just select it again and go back to this color and change it to blue. Hit OK. Now come down to your bottom text tool tab and select the shadow, and that's X'd. Now we're going to change this from drop shadow to solid shadow. Now when we hit apply, we're going to see in the video we have a preview, and we can drag this into our browser. Now you're going to notice it doesn't look 3D actually. Well, there must have been a mistake. I'm guessing that it wasn't selected the text, and that's a common mistake. So I'm going to go back to the Boris generator here, and I'm going to make sure this is selected. That might have been the problem with the drop shadow. As you can see, yes, it was. When we checked it, now we have an actual shadow. We're going to change this back to solid like I did before, and you're going to see it's looking like some 3D text here. So you can change the distance here as well and the angle. I'm going to change the angle, make sure it's selected, same mistake, and there we go. I'm going to hit apply. You're going to see the changes are made in the canvas, and there you have some 3D text. Now what I did is I keyframed it for that little preview you saw, and you can do that by changing the distance, and if you go too far it starts flipping upside down and gets all whacked. So you can do the distance, keyframe that, as well as a scale to the X, and just keyframe that down, and then you got some cool looking 3D text. So play around with this Boris generator to create some awesome 3D text here in Final Cut. Subscribe if you like these videos. Check out FinalCutKing.com for even more exclusive tutorials.